Once leaders realize they aren't as prepared as they thought they were, the next instinct is to build an AI roadmap. Unfortunately, most roadmaps fail long before anything's ever implemented, and not because they are ambiguous, but because they misunderstand what a roadmap is supposed to do. Hi, I'm Andrea Abbott, founder of Abbott Media, and on this channel, we bring you AI automation content, and we help you ease the pain of adopting this new craze of artificial intelligence into your organization. So if that sounds like a conversation you can get into, I want to invite you to subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. So with that being said, let's get into it. In the last episode, we talked about AI readiness and what that looked like inside of an organization. We talked about clarity, responsibility, and how decisions are shaped long before the technology enters the picture. Today, I want to continue that conversation, but by talking about what happens next. Because this is the point where many well-intentional leaders get stuck. Once leaders accept that readiness matters, the next move often feels obvious. They decide to build an AI roadmap. A roadmap sounds responsible, it sounds thoughtful, and it sounds like planning. Leaders imagine it as a clear path forward that will bring order to complexity. In theory, that is exactly what a roadmap should do. In practice, most AI roadmaps fail before anything meaningful is implemented. They fail quietly. They fail politely. They fail in the most southern way possible. They fail in a conference room and in shared folders. They fail because they are built around the wrong idea of progress. Most roadmaps focus on technology milestones instead of leadership decisions. They describe phases, tools, intentions, and timelines, but they do not explain how the organization will think differently once AI is involved. They describe what will be installed, but not how judgment will be guided. They assume alignment will appear once the plan exists. That assumption is where things start to fall apart. A roadmap is not supposed to be a promise of speed. It's supposed to be a guide for decision-making under uncertainty. When leaders forget that, the roadmap becomes a document that looks impressive, but does very little work. To understand why this happens, we need to talk about what leaders are really trying to accomplish when they ask for a roadmap. Most leaders want reassurance. They want to know that the organization will not fall behind. They want to show boards, stakeholders, or teams that there's a plan. They want something concrete in a moment that feels abstract. Those motivations are understandable. The problem is that AI does not reward surface certainty. It rewards clarity and adaptability. A roadmap that locks in an organization into decisions it does not yet understand creates pressure instead of progress. Teams feel obligated to follow the plan even when reality changes. Leaders hesitate to adjust course because the roadmap was treated as a commitment instead of a guide. This is how roadmaps become brittle. Another reason AI roadmaps fail is that they often are built too far away from real work. They are created by committees or vendors who do not sit inside of daily decision-making meetings. They describe ideally features without accounting for current friction. When implementation begins, teams realize that the roadmap does not fit how work actually happens inside of the organization. Instead of adapting to the roadmap, organizations quietly ignore it. And at that point, the roadmap stops being referenced and no one formally retires it. It simply fades into the background, and this pattern repeats because leaders confuse planning with leadership. Planning documents are useful, but leadership is about making choices when conditions change. AI guarantees that conditions will change, sometimes faster than even expected. A roadmap that cannot flex is not a roadmap. It's a schedule. Effective AI roadmaps behave differently. They do not try to predict every step. They focus on creating shared understanding about direction and decision boundaries. They help people know what matters first and what's coming later. Most importantly, what must be revisited regularly. In other words, a good roadmap explains how the organization will learn. One of the most important differences between success and failure are the roadmaps where it starts. Failed roadmaps often begin with a future vision that sounds impressive but feels distinct. Successful roadmaps begin with the presence of reality. They start by asking where the work is slow, confusing, and fragile today. They look at the decisions that create stress or inconsistency. This approach feels less exciting, but it creates traction. Another reason roadmaps fail is that they are treated as a leadership artifact instead of a shared tool. Leaders review them, leaders approve them, leaders present them, but the people expected to live with the roadmap often feel disconnected from it. And when people do not see their work reflected into the plan, they do not internalize it. They follow it when required and they ignore it at all other causes. A roadmap should help people understand why certain choices were made and how those choices connect to their work. When it does that, alignment becomes natural. Roadmaps also fail when they try to do too much at once. AI touches so many parts of an organization, but that does not mean everything should change at the same time. When a roadmap promises transformation everywhere, people feel overwhelmed and skeptical. Progress becomes hard to see, and organizations that succeed choose focus over coverage. They accept the meaningful change in one area, and it creates learning that can be applied everywhere else. They allow the roadmap to grow through the experience instead of an assumption. This requires patience and confidence. In South Carolina, this approach matters because many organizations operate with limited margins for error. They cannot afford large disruptions or public mishaps. Another common mistake is treating the roadmap as a technical exercise rather than a leadership agreement. Roadmaps often avoid difficult questions about responsibility, risk, and trade-offs. Those questions are uncomfortable, so they get postponed. Unfortunately, AI does not wait for comfort. When responsibility is unclear, roadmaps become vague, and when trade-offs are avoided, priorities blur. When risk is not addressed openly, fear grows quietly. Strong roadmaps make these issues visible early. When adjustment are easier, a useful way to think about an AI roadmap is to imagine it as a shared understanding rather than a fixed plan. It should help leaders and teams answer simple questions as a situation arises, and it should explain why certain paths were chosen and when it's appropriate to pause and change directions. It should create confidence, not pressure, and this is where readiness and governance connects directly into the road mapping. An organization that understands its decision-making patterns and governance responsibilities can build a roadmap that actually fits into reality. As this series continues, you may notice a constant theme. AI success depends less on ambition and more on attention. Leaders who stay engaged, ask better questions, and remain open to learning to build the systems that last. And leaders who rush towards certainty often find themselves managing confusion instead. If you're watching this and thinking about your own organization, pay attention to how AI plans are being discussed. Notice whether the conversation is focused on tools or on decisions. Notice where the roadmap explains how learning will happen or a simple list of what will be installed. Those details matter, and in the next episode, we will take this one one step further and talk about how leaders can measure AI progress without chasing the wrong signals, and why traditional metrics often hide the real story. If this conversation helped you think differently about AI roadmaps, then this channel is exactly for you. We are building understanding one layer at a time without hype and without fear. Leadership in the age of AI is not about predicting the future. It's about staying present as it unfolds. I'm Andrea Abbott, and I will see you in the next episode.